guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to film my favourite 5 MAC lipsticks. Now I'm not really one to kind of wear bold or dark lipsticks on a day-to-day basis. I mean, once in a blue moon I might wear a red lipstick. Red or darker shades like deeper plums or burgundies, they're kind of slightly outside of my comfort zone and I have to be in the right mood to wear those sorts of shades. On a day-to-day basis, I kind of tend to stick to shades like the one I'm wearing right now, which is kind of like a pinky, my lips but better kind of shade. Pinky, brownie, mauvey nudes are the shades that I tend to prefer. While some of these shades do kind of look similar to one another, realistically they are the shades that I tend to wear the most. So without waffling too much longer, I'm going to go straight into it. So my first favourite lipstick from MAC is Cosmo, which is an amplified finish, and I describe Cosmo as a mid-tone peachy pink. It's an amplified finish, so it means that it packs a punch in terms of pigment. It's really bold, it applies fully opaque with one layer. There is a little bit of a sheen to it, as you can see, but it's really creamy on the lips. It feels really hydrating. It's super comfortable to wear, hence why amplified finishes are one of my favorites from MAC. And this kind of lip color, you can pretty much wear it all year round, although because it's got that hint of peachiness to it, I tend to prefer to wear it more in the spring and summertime. So my next favorite MAC lipstick is Fast Play, and this is probably my favorite MAC lipstick of all time. It's definitely my most worn shade. It's more of a mauvey pink as opposed to a peachy pink like Cosmo, but they're kind of very similar. It's also an amplified finish, so again it packs a punch in terms of pigment and you get full opaque coverage with just one coat. It glides on the lips really smoothly because the formulation is just so creamy. And again, just like with Cosmo, there is a bit of a shine as well to the lips. Compared to other lipsticks with this sort of formulation and texture, you might not expect it to stick around for that long because, I mean, it is creamy and there's a bit of shine, so it can kind of smear quickly. But this, because the pigment is so intense, I do find that it sticks around just a little bit longer. I absolutely love this shade, and again, another shade that you can easily wear all year round. And I do like the fact that this shade pulls slightly mauve but not too cool. It's kind of stays somewhere in the middle, so a bit more of a neutral mid-tone shade. So my next favourite shade is Twig, and I didn't realise how very similar Twig and Fast Play are actually to one another. I actually always thought of Twig as a brownie pink, but if you swatch it side by side with Fast Play, Twig is actually more on the plummy side, whereas Fast Play actually pulls slightly brown compared to Twig. This is actually a satin formula. It has less of a sheen than the amplified finishes, and it's just a tad less creamy than the amplified finishes, but it still feels quite creamy on the lips. You can definitely tell that when you like purse your lips together, there's less of a slip compared to the amplified finish, but that doesn't mean that it feels less comfortable on the lips. It still very much feels comfortable. I guess this is a formula for people that prefer less of a sheen to their lips. And with Twig, because it does pull slightly plummy, I feel that it's kind of more appropriate at the latter end of the year when it starts to get a bit cooler, so more of an autumnal shade. But it's not that dark that you couldn't wear it during spring and summer. So again, a quite versatile shade, just like with Cosmo and with Fast Play. So my next favourite colour is a lot different from the shades that you've just seen, and this is MAC Blankety. Now you might think, wow, that is like she's just applied concealer to her lips, and it does look like I'm wearing concealer on my lips. It's that light, but I wanted to show you the true colour as it is. But I tend to wear this with MAC's lip liner in Strip Down, which is more of like a kind of tannish nude. So it does kind of deepen the colour slightly, and I think it makes it a lot more wearable. I mean, this kind of shade would definitely suit people with fairer skin tones, more than probably it does myself right at this minute, with it just alone on my lips. But because it's got that pinkiness to it, I feel like I can just about get away with wearing it. It's a beigey pink nude and also an amplified finish, which I've already mentioned is my favourite finish of the MAC lipsticks. Because it has that bit of a sheen as well and it's a light shade, it's a great way to kind of trick the eye into thinking the lips are fuller. So if you applied any of the shades that I've shown already and applied this to the center of it just to lighten the lips a little in the middle, then it will definitely make your lips look a bit more plumper. So that's a nice trick if you are after that more kind of fuller lip look. And then last but not least, we've got Velvet Teddy, and it is a mid-tone, warm, peachy brown shade. I say brown, but it's more of an entry level brown for those that kind of want to dabble into that kind of 90s lip trend but are a bit intimidated by a full-on brown. Then I would suggest this. It's very, very muted, so it's not like a bold, bright peach, but it's not as dark as a deep brown. This is probably the closest out of all the lip colors to my actual natural lip shade. However, this is a matte finish. Even though it's a matte, and you'd probably associate matte with being dry, this actually applies really creamy, and I'd say it applies quite similar to the satin formula, although you can see on the lips that there's definitely less of a sheen. I mean, it's not a completely flat matte, like if you imagine a liquid lipstick where they are really matte and you can really see just how flat the color is. There is definitely a slight hint of a sheen, which I kind of like actually. And for me, this shade is definitely one that you can wear all year round. And this is the sort of shade that I just throw on when I don't want to think about what lip shade I want to wear, because it's just so close to my own natural lip color, but it just makes you look a little bit more polished and pulled together. And that's it. That's my 5 favorite MAC lipsticks. I'd love to know what your favorite MAC lipsticks are, and if you've got a similar taste to mine, it'd be interesting to know if there's a shade out there that I need to get my hands on. If you enjoyed this video, then please give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Bye!